The Rh negative blood type is a hot topic on the internet these days. People are saying we're gay racist aliens from outer space, fallen angel vampires from hell, indigo starseeds from the Pleiades, the monkey blood free, true original humans from Africa, God's chosen people of the lost tribes of Israel, Cro-Magnon pure Aryan supermen, blue blood holy grail royals of Europe, and a different species of Neanderthal brutes from the frozen caves in Siberia. A famous man once said, "Where opinions are many, facts are few. What is the truth?" A few facts most could agree on about Rh negative blood is that it's a blood group that causes red blood cell incompatibility. It is a rare blood occurring in only a fraction of the world population, and doctors advise Rh negative women to take medicine to prevent their bodies destroying their own children in the womb. What is the meaning of this? Most of the conspiracy theories on the internet postulate that in some way or another we are not human in the same way the Rh positive people are. The breeding incompatibility is shown as proof. Could it be that Rh negative is some other alien race set apart from humanity? Is it truly just us and them? The facts of the matter is that only 6% or so of world population, Rh negative is still not rare in a different way. Out of the 37 known human blood group systems at this time, at least 18 are known to cause hemolytic disease of the newborn. It's not us and them, it is us and them and them and them and them and them too. Let's take a look at these different blood groups around the world to see if it can help bring answers to the Rh negative enigma. On the island of Bahrain lives a population where 40% of people have the Kell blood group. This blood group causes hemolytic disease of the newborn in the same way that Rh negative blood does. In Bahrain, over 50% of people are married to their first cousin. It is in 25% of Arabs and 9% of Europeans. It has very low levels in Asians, Native Americans, and African populations. In the same gene pool this blood type has its highest levels, we also see other genetic traits like baldness, hairiness, unibrow, and certain mental disorders reach their highest levels. These traits were commonly seen on the Sumerians of old and are still seen in the people that live there today. The Sumerians often painted and sculpted themselves having bald heads, unibrows, and long beards. They called themselves the bald head people. These people are today credited with inventing writing, mathematics, and even the wheel. They themselves said they gained the knowledge from the holy gods. Their kings and queens were said to be half human, half god-men, put there to rule them. In Judaism, shaving the unibrow is a sin, and to this very day, the Ashkenazi Jews have high levels of Kell blood and these Sumerian genes. On Reunion Island, in an inbred population, exists a blood group called Bombay. This is a very rare blood group that was first discovered in Bombay, India, but has been found to reach highest levels in a small group of inbred island people off the coast of Madagascar in the Indian Ocean. It involves severe hemolytic disease of the newborn. The families with this blood are said to have been involved in consanguineous marriages for 200 years. No word on any distinct physical characteristics about them, but I think it's safe to say they mostly look alike. On the island of Papua New Guinea reside Melanesians with a population of nearly 50% having Gerbich blood. This blood causes severe hemolytic disease of the newborn. The people there traditionally married their first cousins until recently. They have very distinct looks and genes about them. They have bearded black people that often have blonde and red hair. It is said that they have the highest levels of the archaic Denisovan species in the world. Melanesians are said to be the most inbred people in the world. In the Japanese islands, we see 3 recently discovered blood groups that cause hemolytic disease of the newborn called Junior, Langarese, and Kano. Japan is a country made up of many islands with 5 main islands. Japan has traditionally married their cousins in the past, but not much since the United States invasion. Very little info has been released on these groups, but it's more than likely true that the ethnic minority that live there called the Ainu have something to do with it. They are a distinct-looking people with beards and pale skin. After much debate about European and Jewish ancestry, the consensus is they are a pseudo-Caucasoid race and they have DNA similar to Tibetans and Black Andamanese Islanders. Languorese blood is associated with a pigment disorder similar to mixed-race African Americans with vitiligo with darker and lighter skin pigments. I speculate that this is the Ryukyuan blood, which is a mixture of Ainu and Yamato people. The Yamato people, although appearing similar to Koreans, have their own distinct qualities after centuries of mainland isolation and inbreeding. In the Samoan Islands, we find another blood group that causes hemolytic disease of the newborn called KID, or JK3 blood. The Samoans are the most concentrated gene pool of this blood, but it is seen in all Polynesian people. Samoa is known as the cradle of the Polynesian race, as the island of Savaii is said to be Hawaii, the Polynesian homeland. They are a people known for their strength and fierce warriors. They are a proud people that traditionally display their social rank with tattoos on their face. They are an offshoot race of the Austronesians from the island of Taiwan. In the Andaman Islands, we see the highest levels of a type of Duffy blood that causes hemolytic disease of the newborn among the Jawara people. This is a tribe that appears so inbred, everyone looks like copies of each other, and they live in a human zoo. Most of the related tribes have been exterminated, as whenever strangers would come around, they would instantly attack, resulting in a not-so-great outcome for them, usually. The North Sentinelese, a tribe of kinfolk to the Jawaras, continue this practice until this very day. No word on their blood groups, as nobody wants to know bad enough to find out. The modern world has decided to leave them alone. This type of blood has other forms seen among the cousin-marrying Comoros Islands people. In fact, most Negroid populations carry Duffy blood forms, but they usually do not cause severe hemolytic disease of the newborn like the island variants. Among the Native Americans of Brazil and the Caribbean islands, we see remnants of a ghost population with the world's highest levels of Diego blood. Diego blood causes severe hemolytic disease of the newborn. The highest levels can be claimed by the Kangang people at 49% and the island Caribs at 35%. These people belong to the same family of languages and have deep genetic ties to each other. Although the continental Kangang people are reported to have the higher amount of Diego blood, that doesn't mean that island Caribs always had a lower amount. The Spanish conquest has had a horrifying impact on the Native American gene pool, and most Caribbean island populations were declared extinct in the 1600s. The people calling themselves island Caribs today are only a highly mixed remnant. Taino Indians of today have only around 25% Taino ancestry. The island Caribs are probably about the same. On the other hand, some Kangang tribes have never been conquered at all. The pure Caribs of the past might have been 100% Diego blood. DNA tests of their ancient burials assign completely unique mitochondrial DNA haplotypes in some of their females. It has also been recently revealed that the island DNA is older than their land-based relatives, and so is their ceramic material culture. The Diego blood group extends from Bahia in the Caribbean all the way into North America, Siberia, Mongolia, Japan, Hungary, Scandinavia, and even as far away as India and Arabia in very low frequencies. The people with the Diego blood type are a major root race of the Native American peoples. As of now, I know of 18 blood groups that cause severe hemolytic disease of the newborn. Kel, Siana, Diego, Vel, Duffy, Bombay, Junior, Languorese, Kano, Kid, U, Colton, anti-RH Big E, Big C, Little C, and Little E, Right, and RHD negative. Half of these are confirmed as having their highest frequencies among island populations. Others, I suspect of coming from islands, but no studies have been done, like Vel and Siena. Some hematologists think there might be as many as 15 more. I would suggest looking at the Aboriginal Taiwanese Austronesians, Aboriginal Sri Lankans, Aboriginal Australians, Indonesian Pygmies, Sardinians, Guanches, the Micronesians, and the Malagasy people, among others. The ones we know we cannot connect to islands stem from cultures that have strict rules on marrying outsiders. The Gypsies have a blood group called Colton among them that causes hemolytic disease of the newborn. In their culture, it is normal to marry first and second cousins. It is rare to marry an outsider. They have become an island unto themselves by segregating themselves from the other people they reside among. At the end of the day, it is safe to say that inbreeding in isolated gene pools causes blood to mutate into new types of blood that are in direct conflict with outside foreign sources of blood. What we are actually seeing is what scientists call allopatric speciation. Allopatric speciation, also known as geographic speciation, is speciation that occurs when biological populations of the same species become isolated due to geographical changes such as islands. That's right, these blood groups that cause severe hemolytic disease of the newborn are the hallmark of speciation. A similar hemolytic reaction happens when you mix the blood of a donkey and a horse to form a mule. When compared to other known species of hominids, we see a similar pattern. Homo denisova, also known as the Denisovans, is a great example. This species has been discovered through genetic testing of bone fragments. The highest frequency of their genes are found on the island of Papua New Guinea among the same populations with the highest amounts of Gerbich blood. It makes one wonder if that's the Denisovan blood. Homo floresiensis, also known as the hobbits, come from the Indonesian island of Flores. They are called archaic pygmy humans. They stand around 3 feet 7 inches tall. It is said they died out around 12,000 years ago. Scientists have stated they were probably a highly inbred group based on their short stature and microcephaly, with insular dwarfism from living on the island. The faces are flat and in a way resembles the Asians of today. To this very day, on the island live a population of Asian pygmies. Recent DNA testing says they're not related, but it makes you wonder. On the island of Java, they discovered a skeleton of an offshoot species of Homo erectus. When the remains were found, it was said to be the missing link between humans and apes, as it had a body seemingly in between both species. This Java man is still today used to represent Homo erectus. On the island of Luzon in the Philippines, they recently found the remains and DNA of a newly discovered species called Homo luzon. They were a seafaring people that had to make quite a long trip to get to the island of Luzon in the first place, as the island was never connected to the mainland. This is a display of unusual intelligence for the time. They are most likely the ancestors of the indigenous modern Ada people, who are the Y chromosome ancestors of all Native Americans and Western Europeans according to modern DNA testing. On the island of Taiwan, there once lived a species of human called Homo saichangensis. Not a lot is known as the fossils are limited. It has been dated as recent as 10,000 years ago. This makes you suspect they are the indigenous Taiwanese, also known as the Austronesians, who are in turn the parent race of the Polynesians. Homo heidelbergensis is considered the direct ancestor of Homo neanderthalensis, aka the Neanderthals. Their oldest fossils have been found in the British Isles. They are said to have descended from Homo antecessor 800,000 years ago. They became Neanderthals around 240,000 years ago. They might have been the first people to bury their dead, make stone-tipped weapons, and build permanent shelters. They are regarded as the first humans to have a cold-adapted body. The Neanderthal descendants of Homo heidelbergensis are said to hail from Western Europe. Is it possible they have connections to an island as well? For lack of evidence, we can only speculate, but I think it's safe to say the answer is yes. DNA testing is saying that the female line of mitochondrial DNA has been mostly lost. Could this be because of hemolytic disease of the newborn and female hybrid offspring having higher fertility? It sure looks like it could be. So if the oldest remains of Neanderthals' ancestors, Homo heidelbergensis, truly do come from the British Isles like currently said, could it be that Neanderthal does too? So if the islands have caused speciation of humans and their blood groups in the past and in the present, what does that mean for people with Rh-negative blood? Rh-negative reaches its highest levels in the Basques, Bretons, Scottish Highlanders, and North Irish. A majority of these people are native to the British Isles. A large population of ultra-rare genes pool up in their highest levels in the Scottish Highlands and North Ireland, including red hair, green eyes, lactose tolerance, fair skin genes, herpes resistance, diabetes, and the Atlantid phenotype with the dolichocephalic heads, which are the biggest and longest heads in the world of any major population. So why not Rhd negative blood too? At this point, the odds of it being from there are too high to ignore. Rhd negative is the largest speciated blood group in the world. It has been carried by the Y chromosome R1b even into remote nations of the Earth.